Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. The ocean can be an unforgiving environment where there are no second chances. Disaster at sea is a deadly and terrifying experience. Often miles from the assistance of any kind, the passenger's crew have only themselves to rely on. So many factors can be a threat to the seafarers, from the sea-based topography, human errors, and even the wrath of Mother Nature. With 61% of the crude oil globally transported by sea, it is no wonder that about 7,500 oil tankers are traversing the world's vast oceans today. Though much attention and improvement has been made to ensure the newer vessel design is safer for the crew and environment, several activities and recent accidents have caused substantial damage to the environment. In 2018, a Tunisian roll-on roll-off ship collided with an anchored Cyprus-flagged container ship that ruptured the fuel tanks, spilling hundreds of tons of bunker fuel into the Mediterranean Sea and French coastline. Though no casualties were reported, the catastrophic human error has caused damage to both ships and about $11 million spent on coastal cleaning efforts. Though regulated, there are operators that discard the impact of their actions on the environment. Vessels that run on heavy oil for fuel produce oily bilge water, sludge that needs to be emptied regularly. Though the bilge water is required to be treated, some vessel operators simply dump the bilge water into the ocean to save cost. The illegal dumping accounts for up to 2.5 million tons of hydrocarbons of marine pollution annually worldwide, harming the surrounding ecosystems. Various methods and procedures have been introduced for oil spill recovery operations. An inflatable boom is dragged into the affected area to contain the oil spill. The crew takes into consideration the wind direction, wave motion, and type of oil spill. The boom is usually deployed in a U configuration between two vessels. The flexible inflatable boom helps to concentrate the spread of floating oil, making it easier for skimmers to clean the oil spill. Specialized skimmers are often the most effective solution in recovering spilled oil from the water surface, transferring it to storage tanks. It takes numerous manpower and resources to contain an oil spill, and it needs to be done fast to prevent extensive damage to the surroundings. The journey towards safer shipping has been a long one, and the tragedy which advanced it more than any other is perhaps the most famous shipping tragedy of all times: the sinking of the Titanic. When the ship hit an iceberg, it caused massive damage, which went over 295 feet and opened up a third of its length. Her double-bottom hull could have protected the ship, but the iceberg had damaged the vessel's sides above the bottom level. The damage had compromised not one, but 5 of the Titanic compartments. Today, the ships are built with extra plating to avoid hull damage, and the compartments are made watertight. One of the crucial reasons for the large number of lives lost in the Titanic tragedy was the shortage of lifeboats and life jackets. From that, access to lifeboats and life jackets are of paramount importance in the manufacturing of modern vessels. The unforgiving weather of the sea is a challenge to both the seafarers and the vessels. From hurricanes to surging waves, Mother Nature has claimed many lives in the vast ocean. In September 1994, ferry Estonia was carrying 989 passengers on board when it encountered extremely heavy weather and huge breaking waves parted the vessel. The effects were catastrophic, and the ship had sunk in the sea. There were only 137 people who could be saved, and 852 lost their lives. In the past, stability was always a problem in car ferries because of the large open car decks. The ferry can quickly destabilize if the water gets in. From this incident, modifications have been made, and car ferries are built with stability in mind. Ferries are designed to be wider and more box-like shaped under the water, making them more stable. Most modern car ferries are now constructed using a horizontally opening door. Also known as the bow visor, these doors act as a barrier against water flooding the deck. Of all tragedies and incidents that happened at sea, nothing is more baffling than when it is caused by human errors. A surprising number of the vessel's captains and crew members abandoned their responsibility and the ship to fend for themselves. The sinking of the Oceanos luxury cruise ship on the coast of South Africa in 1991 and the South Korea ferry disaster in 2014 are examples of irresponsible captains and crew members who fled to safety, leaving the passengers behind. And so often, crew members have to bear the consequences of irresponsible captains and the vessel's owner. As is with the recent case in Egypt, where the ship's chief officer was left stranded alone near the Suez Canal for 4 years, with the captain ashore and the vessel's owner unable to resolve the matter. What's more disturbing is that about 250 active cases like this happen every year, where crews are abandoned to fend for themselves in the vast vessel alone.
Months waiting, and then my family also wait for me to come back, but instead of come back, I'm still here. I'm stuck.
The ocean is indeed vast. It covers 2/3 of the world. It has changed many lives since the dawn of time and will continue to do so, with many more stories to be told for generations to come.